Hi everyone! So it's been a little while since I've done a Chatty Get Ready with me, and I've had a couple people want a little sort of life update, so I thought that I would do that kind of quickly. I also sort of thought about recreating a look, and this probably isn't going to show up at all, so I'll just try and insert a picture here. This is shocking, a Natasha Denona Instagram picture. I know. Listen, I hear myself sometimes and I'm like, girl, please stop. I go on tangents sometimes. I have a mirror down here finally because I'm going to try and, not block my face with a mirror as I tend to do in these kind of videos. I'm going to try. So anyway, I hear myself when I ramble about things that I tend to be really drawn to. And I tend to get really repetitive. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do my base makeup first. So this is just gonna be a combination of me talking about what's been kind of going on recently and doing my makeup. And because it's mostly eye focus this look, and I really wanted to kind of dupe the vibes of the new Love palette a little bit. I'm also very unorganized because I just kind of brought all of my products out. This is a little mirror here. And normally I try and sort through things and try and have a good amount of products that I feel like I'm going to need when I do a video like this. And this time I just kind of brought everything out. So if I'm a little disorganized, what else is new? So I moved about a month ago. I'm really happy with my place, where I am. Everything is pretty good so far. I have only been here a month though, so I'm trying to keep that in mind as well, that, it's still very new. Here. I do have some notes in front of me as well because I wanted to make sure I mentioned the things that I wanted to mention, because also with these kind of videos, I can definitely get rambly and off topic, although it's just a Chatty Get Ready with me, so I suppose there's not really a specific topic besides just chatting. But yeah, so things are good. I'm in a 2-bedroom, 2 full bathroom apartment, laundry and suite, all the pros. Kind of pricey, but so my son lives with me part-time. I don't talk about that much. I don't talk about sort of that personal stuff. So I'm a little bit more nervous than I thought I was going to be filming this video. These kind of videos are very easy to film, but they're also kind of difficult to film because it's just me being me. And I'll get to that in a minute, but I like my apartment, the 2-bedroom, as I was saying, 2-bathroom. My son lives with me part-time, so I needed the 2 bedrooms. It's the shared custody thing. And things have been working out. It's definitely all been an adjustment over the last year and within the last month of me living on my own and really living on my own for the first time, and it's been weird. And I'm still not used to things. I'm still missing some things. I'd say I'm probably about 95% settled. Where like everything's unpacked, everything's put up except for like one picture because I don't have a ladder to like reach high enough, and I need like a chair or something. My mother's supposed to be bringing over a dining room table. Here, you know what? I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So I just zoomed in a little bit because I felt like I was kind of too far away there. So yeah, so my mother's bringing over a dining room table and chairs, and she'll be able to get the picture up once the chairs are here. And I have a shelf still to put on the wall, which is probably a hopefully weekend project. It's just a kind of heavy shelf and kind of awkwardly shaped, and I needed the right sort of screws to fit into the wall, and I'm not kind of handy in that way, so it's been a little bit of a challenge and kind of learning as I go, which is fine. It's kind of probably about time that I learned some of this stuff that I've never had to learn because I never lived on my own before. So this is been a big learning experience for me, so good and bad, I guess. I'm the base makeup in this photo, like everything is very, very subtle. It almost looks like, hold up. It almost looks like it's just sort of like very softly, maybe contoured and blushed. So I'm really just gonna try and keep it simple. This is the kind of eye stuff I like. It's very simple. I saw the new Natasha Denona like sort of Valentine's-ish collection that's coming out, and I'm very excited for it, although I won't be buying any of it. I'm excited to see the looks that kind of come from it. Stuff that really kind of, it's just the stuff that really inspires me and just the way that I like to do my makeup. I like when new releases come out like that, even if it's not something that I'm actually going to go out and buy, because it just, I can get the inspiration from other places. So anyway, just life has been kind of the usual stuff. I've been working like usual. For those of you who don't know, I work in a library, and I've worked in a library for many years, and it's still good. It's still good. Kind of wish I had the ability to get a second job, not gonna lie, just because things are so expensive, and just, you know, the whole life thing. Things aren't cheap. Like, existing isn't cheap. So I've talked about that in some of my no-buy videos, about how, like, you know, I've had to go on a no-buy, and it's a no-buy in all areas of life, which is also a difficult adjustment on top of everything else, because it's hard to go from sort of being able to spending, or just really just choosing to spend and buying kind of whatever on a whim, and then not really being able to do so because things are so expensive. It's not really practical. Like, I don't have the time to get a real part-time job, so it sucks, because I definitely would if I was able to. I just, you know, with also already working full-time and then having William half the time, I don't have the time to work part-time. I feel like I'd get burnt out really fast if I was doing that, but sometimes I wonder how I'm going to be able to survive, and, you know, I just kind of keep hoping that things will end up getting better, and that there will be sort of light at the end of the tunnel, and being able to cut back in certain areas, or just see certain areas of my life kind of decrease in the amount of necessary spending. Like, certain things aren't going to go down. Like, I'm not going to be spending less on rent for the near future. You know, I don't know what sort of the future holds for me in that sense, but just hoping that, you know, can make it through the next few years until things go down. Like, hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, things like car insurance will go down when I don't have a car payment anymore because my car is paid off. You know, stuff like that is kind of what I'm looking forward to, because it's definitely going to be a very difficult few years, truthfully, and I'm still kind of coming to terms with that myself, and it's been a lot of work. I put this skin thing on as a base that's from Pixie, and it says it can be used as a primer, but like, I have not had good luck with it as a primer. I desperately need a new primer. A friend reached out to me just recently and was like, hey, I bought this primer that's not working for me, would you like it? And it was honestly just like a life-saving kind of moment. I've been very fortunate that I've kind of encountered a few amazing people through doing stuff like this that are just so incredibly kind and generous, and it just kind of baffles me sometimes to say, like, it kind of ties in with my feelings somewhat towards my relationship, and that I'm like, oh my god, like, my boyfriend is so kind, he's so wonderful, and I'm like, wow, I'm not worthy of this, and that's sad that that's still where my default is, but I definitely get caught up in those sort of thoughts sometimes, that I'm not worthy of being treated well, which sounds really strange when you say it out loud, but it's just sort of the way I've almost been conditioned over the last couple of years, and it's very sad. It's very sad, but I'm kind of coming to terms with that. And then when people offer things to me, or when people are being very nice and kind to me, I'm just like, wow, I feel like I don't deserve this. And that's sort of something that I've unfortunately been thinking about lately, because I made the mistake of reading a Reddit thread. I've been really trying hard not to. Okay, so I'm just chatting at this point. I think the base is kind of done for right now. I'm gonna dive into the eye stuff, and I have so many lights on, but yet, you know, my background is seems kind of shady. Don't know if that was a double meaning, but just I don't feel like I can't get quite enough light here, but yet I have so much light surrounding me right now that I can barely even see this picture, because I'm looking at the eye thing. One of the things I really like about the Natasha Denona eye looks is that they're not perfectly symmetrical. Like they make me feel things, I guess, to put it in a really sort of whimsical sort of way. So I'm just gonna go for sort of the general vibe, which I don't think it's gonna end up being sort of exact, because I didn't quite look at it. I can't quite see it as I'm doing it. Like, it would definitely be a different thing for me to recreate this kind of look just sort of in my own world. It's a very messy space in front of me right now, so. But yes, as I was saying, I sort of made the mistake of reading some things about me, which I always tell other people, like other content creators and stuff, when I see them talking about reading things about them that are on other places besides like their channel. I'm always the first person to be like, don't do it, I'm serious, don't do it. And like, I've seen some people get so caught up in things, and like myself included, but I've seen it from the outside. Like, I've seen people get so caught up in the comments that people are making, and then like trying to decipher them and change things about themselves to kind of like please these people who probably just don't care. And it's hard to watch sometimes, and I feel like sometimes I need somebody to be that person to step in for me and be like, don't do it. Don't get caught up in your head about it. And I know it's easier said than done, and like what happened with me is I have just sort of been looking at YouTube analytics, because the creator studio is pretty interesting in that way, and it gives you some kind of cool information, and you can track things and just sort of look at how a video is performing and look at where traffic is coming from. So that's how I ended up stumbling across that stuff, is because I was looking at the stats for a certain video, and I could see that a portion of traffic was coming from Reddit. So I was curious, and curiosity got the better of me, and I dug around and found the thread that somebody had started, which started as a positive thing, but it quickly derailed. I don't know why I kept reading, but I did, and I read these comments, and I was like, wow, people really hate me. And that was really hard to just sort of see that, and just reflected in the comments that people were leaving, and you know, the amount of upvotes certain comments got. It was really sad. You know, I won't lie, I did cry about it, and then I sort of had to pull myself back together, and I do find myself sort of very much still in that I'm focusing on these sort of comments when I really shouldn't be, because it's not doing me any good to be focusing on these kind of comments, because there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, some of it hurts, some of it makes me a little bit frustrated, and I'll kind of explain, I guess. So this is where I'm coming from on this stuff, is that some of those things, some of the comments are things that I've heard before. Some things are just people's opinions, which I've definitely come across before on different places, and a lot of the times, honestly, that stuff doesn't really bother me, because it's like, okay, these people, you know, they don't like the way that I do my makeup, they don't, you know, like the way that I apply things. That's, you know, I totally get that. There's people that I've come across on YouTube and stuff that, you know, I don't enjoy what they do. There's those sort of things, and those kind of comments, they don't bother me anywhere near as much as the comments that are kind of personal, or they're kind of just mean, or just things that I just don't understand. Like, there was one comment that someone was like, you know, I think that there's something like wrong with her, or something not, I can't remember the exact wording, but it was essentially something like something is off with her, and it was just made me be like what does that even mean, to say that? Like, what did I do? You know, what did I do to get, okay, so this totally does not look at all like the inspiration photo. I could definitely, I'm gonna try and do it sometime. I just closed it out now. I'm gonna try and do it sometime kind of more accurately, color-wise. I just really have a very hard time right now with the lights actually seeing the color, and also with just sort of talking. So I'm gonna focus on the talking and just sort of take the general color inspiration and go. But yeah, so like some things like that is just sort of like, you know, it's like, what did I do? I don't understand what I did to make people sort of say that kind of stuff. Like, I was pretty happy with that particular video. I knew some people weren't gonna like it. I knew some people weren't gonna get it, despite having done general parodies before, using a character that I've also used before, and just really exaggerating things, and definitely trying not to be super mean-spirited. Like, I feel like it'd be super easy for someone to like parody me if they wanted to, talking about how like I use my Natasha Denota and kind of ramble about that. But I think it takes a different turn than if somebody was going to like comment more on like physical stuff, and if somebody like really took certain perhaps notable physical characteristics of mine and then kind of put it in a mean way or talked about it that way. Like, I definitely wasn't trying to be mean in the video, and I know some people are going to think that I was mean, and I know that wasn't my intention. And that's a hard thing sometimes with videos and with comments in general. So I think I'm all over the place here, but like some of the other comments that sort of bother me are when people talk about their interpretation of something as if it's a fact, or when they say completely misleading things. Like, that's the thing that gets down to me almost the most. Like, there are certain comments people will make on my YouTube channel or other places that are about physical things that I'm like, I'm well aware at this point. It's been said so many times. I get it. Some of the more personal things, like about personality, still sting sometimes, and some of those things, it just makes me wonder, like, is this true? Even though I don't see it this way, is this really how it is? And it just makes me stop and wonder, and then I get kind of caught up in that. But then there's those times when stuff is completely misleading or actually false, where people will kind of quote me having said something that I never actually said, or saying, you know, oh, this is what she said in this video, or this is what she said in that video. Like, that's not what I said. Those words didn't come out of my mouth. Or maybe it's like, I said part of that, but you are also putting your own interpretation into it, which is not what I said. Because there's certain things that kind of some people keep going back to, where I'm like, if you watch the video and if you listen to me, you would hear that I didn't say what you're trying to say that I said. You know, it's just what people kind of hear what they want to hear sometimes. And I feel like sometimes people want to hear things. And I said this before in other videos, but I feel like I am kind of fighting against past self. And that's difficult because you have someone like, oh, I used to watch her videos and she was always so sad. And it's like, and then people go, oh, well, I don't want to watch that. Like, I don't want to watch someone who's a downer. And people are always like, oh, you know, and that's one of the things that I noticed in this thread was like a few people being like, oh, sour grapes, negative, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, if you watch my videos a couple of years ago, I was absolutely incredibly sad. This was my hobby. This is still my hobby. This is something that got me through some incredibly dark times. Being in an abusive relationship and just wanting to kill myself probably was going to translate a little bit, just a little bit. And it's stuff like that that people don't hear about, and they don't see that stuff, because they're so stuck in this idea of what I used to be, and they're not really welcome to anything other than what they have in their head. And that's incredibly, incredibly difficult, because I feel like I'm also just a person that people just don't seem to like. And I can't quite figure it out, you know, I can't quite figure out exactly, you know, what it is that I did, what it is about me that makes someone not like me and then in turn like somebody else. Like, there's certain things that I'm just like, oh, wait, I think, you know, I kind of do my makeup in a similar fashion to this person, which they really like. I talk about similar topics to this person who they really like. So I don't understand what it is about me particularly. I think there might be some physical things that people don't like, which is fine, but it's also, it sucks, because I feel like, you know, maybe if I was more like conventionally attractive or something, that people would be nicer to me, which is like a really sad thing to think, but that's also where my mind goes, where I'm just like, yeah, you know what, maybe if I was prettier, maybe if I looked like this, maybe if my hair was better, maybe if this was styled better, maybe, you know, if I had a better camera, if I had better lighting. And then I see other people who, like, you know, have sort of the same sort of quality that I have, who people completely fawn over, and it makes me second guess myself a lot, and that's really difficult. And so anyway, you can probably tell I've been kind of focused on that, and it's been really distracting, because I've worked really hard at addressing the thoughts I've had about that sort of stuff before, and why I would get so hyper focused on it, and I was really good at sort of avoiding it, and I don't know what happened to make me sort of break and go digging, basically, to find this stuff that I didn't need to find. And I'm paying for it now, basically. It's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with the places in general, the communities in general. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I feel like a lot of those places just aren't meant for creators to see. Although, I mean, so many people then become tempted to see what people are saying about them. You know, and then it's so easy to focus on the bad things, to focus on, wait, okay, yeah, these people might like me and say nice things, but what about these people who don't like me? What can I do about that? And most of the time, it's like, there's nothing you can do. These people don't like you. It's not like somebody's gonna keep checking in on my videos to be like, I wonder if she's changed that thing I don't like about her yet. You know, they're just gonna keep going on about the thing that they don't like, and it doesn't matter. I mean, in some cases, those things might actually be changed, but they don't know because they don't come back to the channel. Yeah, do I wish people were nicer? Sure. But then I also don't have to rate this stuff, and it was my choice to go there, and I'm just gonna keep regretting doing that, because I just can't seem to kind of get out of it right now. So I'm trying to, like, you know, have as many discussions with people as I can about what's bothering me in particular, and if there's anything I can do to kind of fix things from my perspective. And that doesn't mean addressing the things that people said, but just, you know, what bothered me, is there some sort of truth to any of the things that were said? If there is, or is it things that also bother me and things that I also would like to change about myself? Or is there things that, you know, I can't change, or I don't want to change, because there's some of those there's some of those things as well that I don't get, that people make comments about, where I'm like, I don't see that, so I don't even know how I could even begin to kind of change something like that, because I just don't interpret it in the same way, if that makes sense. So anyway, my brain has been sort of cluttered with that recently, and it's made it sort of difficult for me to sort of think about doing other things, not even just video related things. I think the look is kind of, I think this is kind of good. I think this is probably as close as I'm gonna get it. Same kind of vibes, I think. The like love palette kind of general vibes. Anyway, it's just kind of hard for me to kind of make sense of everything. And I had been so excited. I had so many video ideas I wanted to do. I had so many lists, so many topics, so many things that I was just so excited to talk about and share. And then I just sort of end up wondering sometimes, like, is it worth it? I feel like I'm sort of like swimming upstream. I feel like I'm fighting against some people that I can't win, you know? Like I feel like I try my hardest and I try to be me, and I've been trying to be more open. I've been trying to explain my thoughts and share my journey and share, you know, the things that I've been going through or the things that I've gone through. And it's really hard to have so many people kind of say I'm wrong or just completely ignore the changes that I have made, and just to see it in such a way and just seeing like so many people support that kind of stuff really hurts, because I have been working so hard on myself. I have been working so hard to be better, and it's very frustrating. So other than that, I think it's also tied to a very similar kind of experience a couple of years ago when I was really open with people online, and especially places like Reddit, which I was like very active on for quite some time, until I essentially got sort of like chased away from it because people just really saw my name and just disliked me so immensely that I just couldn't post anything. And then people were just sort of interpreting things that I would say there and stuff that I was sharing that was somewhat personal and just twisting it. And it was also at a very difficult time for me, because when that all sort of happened and blew up, it was when my father was first sick, and now my father has been really sick again, and things are very touch and go, and I know that's affecting me quite a bit as well. And it's really difficult to be kind of dealing with those emotions, things that affect you personally, and then having people also sort of dissect your personality and your emotions in a way that's negative. And it's very easy for me to tie those things together and to kind of be like, oh my god, I am a horrible person, and I'm trying to deal with all this stuff, and I'm trying to find ways to distract myself by doing things like YouTube, by like writing a silly script, making fun of, you know, the sort of generic beauty gurus, and just having fun with things, and then having people completely tear me apart. I wouldn't say completely, I guess, but you know, just sort of not be so nice, or just, I don't know how to say it. But anyway, it's been tough. So I feel like in general I've been a much happier person. I feel like that has been reflected in my videos, and I feel like that's what's been reflecting from me inside, and I just want to kind of bring that back because it's not there right now, and there's just so much going on. I'm just gonna end this now because I feel like there's nothing else to say, and I'm getting kind of upset because I'm thinking about the other things that are going on in my life, where it's like, this is supposed to be just like my happy little hideaway, and I want to keep it that way. So anyway, thank you for those of you who have been so kind. It really means so much, and I'm sorry, wow. This is why I have to end this. So anyway, yes, thank you so much for everyone who has been so kind and who has left such sweet, wonderful, supportive messages, especially on those more personal videos, like the stuff about my no-buy and that kind of stuff, because it has been very difficult to open up in that way to so many people, or just to know that people could interpret things in ways that I did not intend them to be interpreted. And I swear this is not my apology video, but I will be doing that for fun. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now.